Hello, hello, my friends. We are in the month of March. Spring will be sprung later on this month. And this week, we will have Kringle Candle releasing their spring and summer collection. Kringle was kind enough to send the entire collection to me in PR. So today we are going to be sniffing through the 12 new fragrances that they are going to be offering. And I'm going to give you all of the details that you need to know for the launch. So like I said, this is happening this Thursday, March 6th, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There are 12 new fragrances, 6 country candle, 6 Kringle candle. Now, the country candle, for those of you who love that format, this may be a little bit of a bittersweet launch for you because this is going to be the very last new country candle launch ever. Kringle has made it known the last couple of months, about a few months ago, they let it leak that they are planning to phase out the country candle lineup in 2025, but they did already have this in the works to go ahead and have this launch. So this is going to be the last ever country candle launch. Now the country candles will be available only in the large jar formats and the daylights and wax melts. Now, when it comes to the Kringle format, they're doing something a little bit new over there as well. We will still have these available in the medium and large 2-wick tumblers, as well as the daylights and the wax melts. And even though they have also talked about eventually phasing out the current 3-wick format that we have known, those like painted jars, the Kringle format will still be offering the 3-wick painted jars for this launch. But something new this time around, they now have the fragrances will be available in their new 4-wick tumblers. All 6 Kringle fragrances will be available in the large jars. So that's something kind of fun going on this time around. Now, I do have a discount code with Kringle. Katie15 will save you 15% off of your purchase. I do always want to just kind of like, it's exciting to have a new launch, but I do always want to like put this reminder out for all of you guys, particularly for this launch. This is part of their like what I would say like a permanent lineup. In fact, the fragrances that do really well will probably just make their way into the Kringle rotation, for years to come. But you do have some time if it's not in your budget here in early March to buy all of these. You have some time to see other reviews. You're going to have time to see other, ambassadors give their thoughts, what the fragrances are. What I'm saying is this is not limited edition. This is not like the St. Patrick's Day or some of the reserve launches, although the reserve candles we're starting to realize those are coming back into stock. But any of the like special holiday collections like Halloween, Christmas, Easter, coming up in a little bit. We'll talk about that in another video. But those are limited edition collections. These are not. So you do have some time. So this today is just going to be a fun cold sniff session. I will not be able to have any of these, probably any kind of post-burn reviews up for you guys prior to the launch. But make sure you're subscribed to my channel if you want to see some dedicated reviews, because I will make sure over the next month or two to go ahead and get some post-burn reviews done for you guys. I like to usually hit the midway point before I do that. But yeah, I feel like I've given you all of the information. As always, all of the candles that I'm talking about today, I will make sure that in the description box down below, I will have timestamps. I will also list all of the fragrance notes for you, so that way you guys have all of the information together if you are planning to shop the launch. That way you can kind of narrow down what you think would be a good fit for you. That's enough of an intro. Let's go ahead and get into sniffing these candles. I'm typically how I do this is I do one Kringle, one country, and that's the format that I like to do. So that's what we are going to stick with today. So the first candle I want to talk about is the Sea Salt and Bergamot. We have fragrance notes here of bergamot, orange, pettigrain, neroli, lavender, basil, jasmine, patchouli, musk, and amber. And I'm going to tell you guys, this fragrance, when I initially got this PR box in 2 days ago, I opened this up and I sniffed it and I was like, I don't like that. I am going to tell you that I don't know what has happened over the last 2 days when I have been coming back and sniffing this. I still don't love this fragrance, but it's grown on me a little bit. Initially, like when I sniffed this, I was like, nope, declutter instantly. But now I'm sniffing it and I'm like, no, it's morphed a little bit. So this is a fragrance for those of you who love like laundry fresh type of fragrances. This is what you're going to want. This I smell, it kind of reminds me, I don't buy scented laundry detergent anymore other than the what is it? The caramel sundaes. I do that for like my sheets and my towels. But in my regular like clothing, I don't like scented laundry detergent. Um so it's been a long time. There's elements about this that kind of remind me of Gain laundry detergent. Not not it's not a dupe. It's not like cheap smelling like that. This is sophisticated. Now, what I'm saying is that what I'm smelling more in this now, I get a little bit more of that sea salt air vibe. Um, what else am I smelling in here? Orange. I get a little bit of citrus in there. Pettigrain, neroli. I am smelling some of that neroli in there. Maybe some jasmine. I have a feeling that this is a fragrance that even though at first I sniffed it and I was like, I don't like it, it's growing on me. And I just have this sneaking suspicion that once I light this candle up, it's going to transform and I'm probably going to enjoy it a lot more than I think that I was going to enjoy it. It's very fresh, kind of soapy smelling, which is why I'm comparing it to like a laundry detergent. So if you tend to like fragrances in that type of family, I'm going to tell you guys out of this whole collection, this is going to be the candle that you're probably going to enjoy the most. All right, the next country candle that I wanted to show you is Fresh Bergamot. Look at this bright green wax that we've got here. Fragrance notes of bergamot, citrus, orange, lime, basil, and more citrus. And this is like if you want a like smack you in the face, kind of a lime vibe, but very fresh, a little bit of effervescent and bubbly. This is going to be the fragrance that you are going to want. Very much like if you are just trying to wake up for your day, it's not minty, nothing like that, but this is really good. I actually think that this might pair really nicely with that sea salt and bergamot. I mean, you've got fragrance notes that are listed that are in common, bergamot, but I definitely get like a lime note in here. It almost in a weird way, it's not boozy, but it kind of reminds me of like a margarita. No boozy aspect to it, but like a margarita without booze. But it's also kind of like effervescent. I like this one a lot. This is a great fragrance, I think, for the spring and summer. A great, good, like um, fresh, clean scent, but in that like citrus family instead of it being fresh, clean, like laundry or pine needles or anything like that. Okay, another fragrance that I think a lot of people are intrigued by. This is Aegean Zest. We have fragrance notes here of lemon, citrus, floral, gardenia, musk, and green. And I'm going to tell you guys, I don't love this one on cold. I do detect a little bit of lemon in there, but what I'm smelling more is I think a combination of gardenia and musk, gardenia, musk, and lemon. And I'm not really sure how I feel about that. I love KRINGLE Candles gardenia fragrance, but their gardenia fragrance is mixed with jasmine, and I really, really like that fragrance. It's very like white floral, but a little bit sweet. This to me, there's something kind of like powdery to this on cold that I'm not loving. I'm just being honest. I don't love it. I will give it a burn because I've learned my lesson with KRINGLE that a lot of fragrances on cold, sometimes I'm not a fan, and then I light them up and they completely transform, which is why I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to review it for you guys. But this one, yeah, it's kind of different to me. It's kind of like a powdery lemon citrus, but I get a little bit of that gardenia in here with the musk. Not so sure about it, but I will give it a try. Yeah, green, floral. It's not my favorite, but that's okay. However, I think a candle that I do enjoy on cold sniff, and you guys know me, I do tend to like to burn complementary fragrances. So I'll typically burn a fragrance out here in my living room and one in my bedroom, and then they complement each other as I move from room to room. The fragrance that I think will complement that, what is it, Aegean Zest, is Mandarin Petals. Now, the fragrance notes on Mandarin Petals are mandarin, citrus, fruit, neroli, berry, and musk. And I like this. This is a little bit herbaceous, kind kind of in the vein, not the same scent at all, but like, you know how Kringle has their Sicilian orange, which is a little bit of like an herbaceous orange fragrance. This to me has a little bit of greenness to it mixed with a juiciness of like an actual mandarin, but then there's a little bit of a floral component. I do smell some of that neroli in there, which if you've never smelled neroli, neroli is in that same vein of like an orange blossom. It's a very unique fragrance. I love it. Not everybody does, but I personally love it. But I do smell that in here. Really nice. It's like green neroli, and there's that juiciness of actual like a mandarin. Like mandarins are, you know, they're little tiny oranges. They have a little bit different. They're like a more like, to my nose, like a very sweet taste to them compared to like your standard like navel orange. Really, really nice. I like this fragrance. I'm actually excited to burn that one. All right, another candle, which you guys are going to laugh when I give the fragrance notes and give a little bit of a story here. The next fragrance here is Yuzu and Sage. Fragrance notes on this are Yuzu, Eucalyptus, Lemon, Grapefruit, Mandarin, Mint, Ginger, Peach, Apricot, Musk, Coconut, Kiwi, Watermelon. That is a lot and would leave me feeling like, what on earth is this candle going to smell like? This to me, very fruity. I actually get, I do get this, like a little bit of citrus in here. I get some of those tropical fruits in here, but honestly, I smell the peach and the apricot. Ooh, the more I sniff this, is there a mint? No, the eucalyptus. Yeah, and mint. I do get a little bit of that. Gives a little bit of freshness to this, but the apricot and peach note I do detect, and it's so funny because when I opened these the other day, my husband was sniffing them with me, and if you've watched any of my videos with Cody before, sorry you guys, coughing fit, still getting over this cold. I feel fine, I can smell fine, but you know, post-nasal drip just likes to linger for a while, much longer than I would prefer. Anyways, what I was saying was that Cody sniffed these candles when they came in the other day. And if you've watched my channel for any length of time, you've seen some of the videos he's done with me. What note does he detest in spring and summer fragrances? Say it with me, peach. He put his nose in this and he was like, nope, don't like that. I can smell peach. I don't like it. And I will tell you, so if you're somebody who loves like stone fruit, peach, apricot scents, you're going to like this one because it's very fruity, very fresh. I like it. I really, really like this fragrance a lot. Excited to burn it. I actually see this fragrance being mixed with that, or not mixed, but burned alongside that fresh bergamot. I actually think would give like just a very like energetic, fresh vibe to the home, but also fruity and sweet. This is a really, really nice fragrance. I really like that one. And then another kind of like sweet fragrance that is being offered, which is typically out of my wheelhouse, but my youngest daughter really loved this one. This is Grape Soda. We have fragrance notes of grape, orange, apple fruity, red fruits, berry, strawberry rose, orange flower, sweet, and lactonic. So that's a whole lot we've got thrown in there. This to me actually smells like what you would think grape soda would smell like. It's definitely a grape note. It's kind of that like artificial, very sweet, syrupy, sugary grape. But also at the same time, I smell some other fruits in there, maybe like that apple and the berries. So it's not like a deep, robust grape note, like say in their Merlot fragrance in their Reserve lineup. That's like a bold, deep grape note. This is a lighter, sweeter, candied grape type of fragrance. Not cough syrup. I should probably take some cough syrup, but it's not cough syrup grape. It's out of my wheelhouse. Is this a fragrance that I would typically go for? No, but it's very, very sweet. This one actually might pair really nicely with that Yuzu and Sage as well, because they're both kind of like fruity fragrances. Might give just a sweet aspect going on in the home. But that is Grape Soda. Another fragrance that really surprised me, you guys, because I wasn't sure what to expect from it, is Garden Fresh. We have fragrance notes here of floral, green, herbal, rhubarb, musk, and green. And this to me, this is very fresh, herbaceous fresh. Excuse me for that. What they have pictured here, tomatoes, This kind of reminds me of a tomato vine, but there's an element of sweetness to this, like earthy sweetness that I think is coming from the rhubarb note in there. This is very well done. I actually really, really, really like this one. I am surprised by how much I like this. I think that this is going to be great. It's green, but I can see this being a great fragrance if you are maybe cooking some food and you want something to just kind of enhance the natural yummy flavors that are like wafting throughout your home. This is going to be like a really nice background scent. It can also maybe like tone down maybe more pungent food odors. Um, I see this being like a really great palate cleansing type of candle without it being citrus or piney or overly astringent. This is very nice, very conceptual. I think this is not a fragrance that I've come across anywhere else. Very sophisticated and upscale, but not cologne-y, not perfumey, very much herbaceous. Herbaceous. It's not the same as, what did they have a couple of years ago? They had like herb, oh, what was it? Herbs and Spice, I think, was the reserve candle. That one had a little bit, it kind of had like a pepper note to it. I didn't love that as much. I smelled more like oregano and stuff. That's not what I'm getting here. This is more of like a green, like what I'm thinking is tomato vine. Yeah, kind of like a garden tomato vine, but there's a hint of sweetness in there, which I think is coming from that rhubarb note. Herbal, they say, musk, green. Really, really nice fragrance right there. And then the fragrance that I actually think, will I burn that? No, one of the ones, I'm not going to say this is complimentary to that. In fact, you know what? No, I'm going to put that one back because I'm going to burn. I'm all over the place here. Let's talk about a fragrance that I really don't have a match for with one of the reserve lines, but there are some other Kringle candles that I do plan to burn this candle with, and it would be Lilac Macaron. Lilac Macaron has fragrance notes of lilac, pastry, sweet vanilla, raspberry, and sugar. And okay, this to me, I am a huge fan of fresh lilac. I'm also a fan of their newest lilac fragrance, which was the Lilac and Lily in the reserve line. And now they have Lilac Macaron. So this to me is still floral forward, I would say. However, I do get the pastry note in the background here. It's still not a gourmand fragrance. If you are looking for like an authentic gourmand fragrance, spoiler alert, you guys, there's none in this launch. Now, don't be dismayed if you love your gourmands, if you want some spring gourmands. Um, just just hold off. There are some coming here in the near future. But in this lineup, you're not going to get any kind of like springtime gourmands. That being said, I am very intrigued by this fragrance. I do plan to burn this complimentary to fresh lilac to see, how they complement each other. This is different. I'm definitely getting some sweetness of a little bit of like berry in the background. I'm getting a pastry note, but I still do smell like a floral in the front. So this one's going to be really interesting when I light it up. Okay, the other Kringle candle that actually really, really surprised me in this lineup is Spanish Moss. So we have fragrance notes here of moss, floral, aromatic, wood, patchouli, and musk. And this one, it's funny, when I saw the lineup that they gave us for the spring and summer collection, Kringle does send their ambassadors kind of like a fragrance lineup sheet. This is when the launches, these are the fragrance notes. And I saw the fragrance notes on this candle and I thought, I don't know if I'm going to like that one too much. This is I actually really like it. It's kind of, it's green without it being pungent, herbaceous. It is kind of that like moss family. Kringle has done a couple of candles that are in that like mossy, kind of earthy type of fragrance, but this doesn't smell like dirt. It smells green to me. I like it. I actually really like it. It's a little bit woody in here. I get a hint, just a hint of patchouli in the background. It's not perfumey patchouli. Um, really, really like this one. I'm surprised by how much I like this. I think that this is going to be a really nice, like, nighttime type of burn. Yeah, aromatic. They don't really give you a ton of like detailed fragrance notes here, but it does smell like kind of green and mossy to me. So if you like the way that Kringle has done mossy fragrances, but some of the mossy fragrances that I have smelled in the past from Kringle have been more like, it sounds funny, mentally you would associate them with being more like fall mossy scents. There's more of a greenness in this one that makes you think of like spring, new life. Things are growing instead of decaying. I don't know if that makes sense, but really, really nice. I'm surprised by how much I like that one. And then the fragrance that I pulled up before that I said, oh, that I really like. This is the one that I think I will burn complimentary to that Spanish moss is Seaside. Surprisingly, we've got the moss and we've got Seaside. Fragrance notes of bergamot, soft fruit, lavender, herbal, driftwood, and moss. Now, this is for those of you who like kind of those clean, slightly masculine cologne, perfumey scents. But I wouldn't say that, I wouldn't even venture out to say that it's like cologne. It's, you know what this reminds me of? This fragrance reminds me a little bit of in the winter collection or the holiday, was it winter collection? They had a fragrance called, I think it was called Christmas in Manhattan. And that fragrance was in this same type of profile, a little bit fresh, a little bit masculine. But it had kind of like a mint note to it that would give it kind of a winter air vibe. I feel like this fragrance, it's exchanged out instead of the winter air. You're getting more of like a fresh, kind of beachy vibe to go with it. I love this one. I actually really, really enjoy this candle. On cold sniff, I'm liking it. This is going to be a really nice fragrance. I could see myself burning this in my bedroom at night. This is going to be kind of like a nice bedroom fragrance. Or again, if you are somebody who likes those kind of masculine, but it's not mahogany. It's not heavy or oppressive. Kind of a lighter take on more traditionally masculine fragrances. This one is going to be really nice. And then the last Kringle candle that I have to talk about here is Chiffon, Parfait, and Peony, which I think the label on this is absolutely beautiful. We have fragrance notes here of lychee, bergamot, rhubarb, rose, magnolia, peony, vetiver, vanilla, musk, and cashmere. And here's the thing on this one. I'm detecting the rose note. I smell rose right away when I sniff this. Now, the rose note is kind of that same rose note that they were using in Sunflowers and Suede, which is funny. I thought that should have been called like Sueded Rose. Similar rose note that I smelled in Sunflowers and Suede. There is a little bit of sweetness to this, but again, not a gourmand scent. This is kind of your, I almost said stereotypical. That's not what I'm saying. Traditionally soft, feminine, perfumey, floral type of fragrance. But there's a little bit of fruitiness mixed with it. I feel like they are trying to maybe like embrace a little bit of like what Harry Slatkin does with mixing florals with fruit in this one. It's not overly sweet. I still feel like that this is a floral scent through and through. No, if you love florals, you're going to like this one. But there's something about it that lends a little bit of like a slightly creamy aspect to it. Yeah, there's vanilla in here, musk and cashmere. I'm gonna say I feel just kind of like meh about this fragrance. Honestly, I feel like this is a scent I probably would have burned in the month of February. That's when I typically go towards like rose fragrances. That would have been a really nice like Valentine's Day candle, but I can also see how that would be a good spring scent. And then the last country candle, which I think pairs beautifully in terms of like if you wanted a beautiful like color aesthetic to kind of complement each other, this sugared peony, the color of this wax with that label on that, what is it, chiffon, what was it, chiffon, parfait, and peony would be very complimentary and beautiful. We have sugared peony here. Fragrance notes of peony, floral, white floral, tuberose, orange flower, vanilla infused, moss. Is it moss? Or musk? Musk. My eyes are getting old. I am now 40. My eyesight's pretty good, but every once in a while I'm like, ooh. Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys, this is definitely a more heavy floral fragrance, whereas the Chiffon Parfait and Peony is more like light rose, airy floral. This is more of your oppressive floral. This is a white floral for sure. I smell the tuberose. I smell orange blossom. It's different than Neroli though. This is a very heavy floral fragrance. I could see myself possibly pairing this with like a type of vanilla to try to tone it down if this one is really strong. I would give warning that I could see for people who maybe get headaches from florals, this one has the potential just on cold because it's pretty strong on cold. Again, on burn, it might completely transform and be different. But on cold, I could see this one possibly being headache inducing. But for those of you who love a good, strong, white floral type of fragrance, I think you're really going to like this one. So let's go ahead and rank each collection. I'm just going to give you like my thoughts. Just cold sniff. This is how I would rank them, 6-1. So in the country lineup, I'm going to say number 6 for me is probably going to be Sugared Peony, just because it's a very, actually, no, you know what? I'm going to say number 6 is going to be Grape Soda, because that's not typically a fragrance that I would burn. Sugared Peony would probably be number 5 for me. Number 4, I'm going to go with Lilac Macaron, which might actually surprise some of you guys knowing how much I love lilac, but it's a little bit different. It's not full on lilac. It's floral, but it's interesting. Number 3, I am actually going to say I think is Mandarin Petals. The top 3 are kind of hard for me to distinguish between, but I'm going to say Mandarin Petals is probably number 3 for me. Number 2 is going to be Seaside, and then number 1 is going to be Fresh Bergamot for me. In the KRINGLE lineup, I'm going to say that the Chiffon, Parfait, and Peony is probably coming in number 6 for me. I'm not really enthused about burning rose scents right now. Again, I'm kind of over them at this point of year. Number 5 is going to be Aegean Zest. Something about it is just a little strange. Number 4, sea salt and sea salt and bergamot is going to be number 5 for me. Number 4. Let's get this straight here. 6, Chiffon, Parfait, and Peony. 5, Aegean Zest. 4, sea salt and bergamot. Number 3, I think, is going to be Spanish moss. Number 2 is Garden Fresh, and number 1 is going to be Yuzu and Sage. So that is just kind of my quick ranking in terms of cold sniff. Again, you guys, make sure you're subscribed to my channel. I have a lot of new fragrances to be reviewing for all of you guys coming up over the next month and a half, not only from KRINGLE, but just from some other brands as well. So I will get to these, in due time. So make sure you're subscribed, because I do plan to put up some post-burn reviews for you. Also, let me know in the comment box down below what 3 fragrances are like your top 3 that you are interested in. That does sometimes help me with prioritizing what I should burn and get reviews out for all of you guys. But please make sure you hit thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Let me know, are you excited for a new spring and summer collection? I know I live in a climate where I don't really get true winter, so we are already experiencing pretty nice temperatures right now, but I know a lot of you guys are like, yay, we're over January, February, March, spring is on the horizon, and some of you guys might be excited for some of these scents. So I'm happy for you guys as well, hoping that the weather starts to get a little bit better for you. So I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.